The NFL is back, and the NFL is looking at a 10-year low for their opening night numbers, and they deserve every single bit of it. We have covered this over on our Sports Wars channel. If you have not seen those videos, please go check them out. Ryan Kennel has been doing a fantastic job. Also, subscribe to RK Outpost. Please go do that. Ryan has just been on fire for Geeks and Gamers lately, and I cannot thank him enough. Now, I watched a little bit of the game last night, the beginning, and I watched the first quarter, and then I just was really checked out. I was checked out because they checked me out because of how everything started. First of all, you have these people singing the national anthem with a George Floyd picture on their shirt, celebrating a criminal, a career criminal. It was about the Texans and the whole thing about they didn't want to come out for the national anthem, and then the Chiefs stood for the national anthem except for one of their players, and all the players were all grabbing onto him like it was a prayer sermon or some shit like that. And then they did the player unity, and people booed them. And I have heard so many nonsensical morons, especially on ESPN, Ryan Clark being the most nonsensical of them all, claim, oh, the reason they were booing was because it was in support of black people. And then he claimed that people don't boo when there's a unity for breast cancer and all of this stuff, but they did when it was in support of black people. Well, that's why they're upset, because it's being politicized and it's being misrepresented. It's a disingenuous argument. If you're worried about police brutality, then why don't you talk about the fact that twice as many white people have been killed this year than black people? Why don't you talk about that? LeBron James makes a statement that black people are scared to leave their house because they're being hunted. Yet twice as many white people have died at the hands of police than black people. So you're making a disingenuous argument trying to form a political narrative. This has all been politicized. It's not about police brutality. It's not. It has nothing to do with police brutality. You didn't celebrate Tony Timpa. You didn't celebrate Daniel Shaver. You didn't celebrate Justine Damon because there was no political narrative to be built around it. Whenever they're talking about breast cancer, they're not talking about specific people. Oh, we're only going to celebrate the black people that are dying of breast cancer. They don't do that. They celebrate it as a whole with no narrative involved. But of course, Ryan Clark, you're smart enough to understand this. You're just too shitty to admit it. And it's absolutely ridiculous. I am just blown away at the nonsense from these people. It is unreal. But that's where we are in 2020. So now, here we get to the point of NFL opening night, ratings tank, likely a 10-year low. The NFL is back, but the story reads ugly. According to Deadline, opening night is looking at a 10-year low. In early numbers, the Chiefs win scored a 5.2. So I was talking about all the numbers, but it dropped 16%. There are several reasons why the large drop. Yesterday morning, I ranked the reasons why, and there are valid reasons in here why. Packers-Rodgers is definitely a bigger draw, and that was the game it's going up against last year. Packers and Rodgers are still a bigger draw than KC and Mahomes. Not as much, not that much, but still slightly bigger draw. Less hype, definitely less hype. Last year, Hannity, Carlson drew under 3 million, Maddow 2.3. Those should all be higher tonight because of everything going on. Totally agree. Lakers game will take some, not much. Totally agree. You got the Lakers game on, even though the NBA ratings are tanking too. Though the NFL actually kept wokeness to a minimum, football fans didn't give it the chance. It was too late. Fans heard the chatter, saw what happened with Drew Brees, and knew social justice would take priority pregame. Americans expected the players to kneel, thus they avoided finding out. This number is alarming. Patrick Mahomes is the best show in sports. The Chiefs are a thrill ride. If that combination can't get fans to ignore the exhausting nonsense, few games will. Point 4 is worth mentioning or monitoring. Odds are Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson drew well over 3 million viewers last night. The awful product that was the Lakers-Rockets game likely wasn't a factor. Check out the Outkick for all ratings news. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's true. Fans are just tired of it. Fans are sick of it. I am a lifelong NFL fan, and I found myself just not caring because I'm just like, these players are here to make a circus of all of this. Like, this is not about police brutality. It's about police brutality being weaponized and politicized to form a false narrative. That's what it's about. It's not about equality. It's about special treatment. It's not about the things that they claim it is, and that's why fans are tuning out. Fans are absolutely sick and tired of this shit. They really are. Because if it was about police brutality, you would have mentioned Tony Tempa when that happened, because that was an awful situation. But none of the social justice weirdos cared about it. Nobody cared about Daniel Shaver. A terrible situation. But if those would have been black men, the media would have weaponized it. The media would have made it a big deal. The media would have told all of the mindless drones to be mad about it, and all the mindless drones would have been mad about it. But because it wasn't weaponized by the media, these NPCs didn't take the bait. Because there was no bait. And that is the entire point behind why fans are fed up with this shit. You don't care about the shit that you're talking about. You don't. This is all a circus. It's all nonsense. And people are absolutely done with it. Absolutely done with it. So, as an NFL fan, again, there are a lot of stories that I am interested in this year. Primarily the Tom Brady to the Buccaneers. I'm also interested in Cam to the Patriots. I want to see Tua Tagovailoa, my Alabama quarterback, playing in Miami, even though he's not starting. There's a lot of good storylines, but you are drowning them in bullshit. Much like Nintendo did with the Wii. The Wii had two of the greatest games of all time. Super Mario Galaxy 1, Super Mario Galaxy 2. It also had a slew of really good games, first-party titles from Nintendo. But what did Nintendo do? They flooded the market with family-friendly bullshit. Like all of this bullshit, motion control, Wii Play, all this cooking bullshit. They flooded the market, and you couldn't even see the greatness that we had with certain games on that system because they saturated the market with mindless bullshit. That's exactly what the NFL has done. They have a really good product. They have some really good storylines, but they have overrun the market with mindless bullshit. That's what's going on. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.